Hi, welcome to our home. Today we're going to go through the side-by-side fridge and freezer, as well as the freezer in the garage, reorganize everything, and clean it up a little bit. Why don't you come on and join me? First, going to start with this before shot so you can get a good idea of what all we're working with. It feels like there's just a lot of stuff and nowhere to put it, but that's what we're going to tackle. First, I'm going to take everything out of the door of the refrigerator, put it on the counter, and then figure out what to do from there.
Nothing to what I feel is real, but I'm such a drama queen. I know it's just a crush, crush, crush. I know it's just a crush, crush, crush. You said hi and I thought, here we go. Can you tell that I am all but sober? Never realized my friends went home.
Next, I'm going to take my all-purpose cleaner and a microfiber cloth and clean the drawers that go inside of the door. Since I have everything out, might as well start with a clean slate. My idea is to create zones in the fridge, that way things have a home. And so I've started putting some things in there, but don't worry, I'll actually show you what I do because I'm going to change it up later.
No, it's just a crush, crush, crush. I know that it's just a crush, but I always read way too much into stuff.
I'm adding things to this pile because I'm going through the shelves and getting things that I think might fit in a door better out. That way it's much easier to put things into categories and rearrange where they go.
I know it's just a crush. I know it's just a crush. 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 I know it's just a crush. 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 I know that it's just a crush, but I always read way too much.
Okay, now let's start at the bottom. Down here I wanted to put sauces and things that we don't use too often, but we definitely use, so I don't want to throw them away. On the next shelf I'm putting milk. I know that they say that you shouldn't put milk in the door because it changes temperature so easy, but we drink it so fast that it doesn't have time to go bad. And then I made a beverage station on the next shelf. And the last one's going to be things like jellies, jams, and sauces and dressings that we use quite often.
It's like I've got no sense of touch. I'm always pouring out my heart, no little by little here.
And it didn't fit, so let's try rearranging it a little bit and see what we could do. This top area I use for our butters and little sauce packets and things that we collect from restaurants whenever we go out to eat. So I didn't like that top shelf, so I took some things out and rearranged it a little bit. I think I'm going to make the jelly station on the top shelf instead of in the door. Now I'm going to take everything out of these shelves, wipe them down, and then put things back in a way that makes more sense. Since I see that Panera Bread Fuji apple vinaigrette dressing, I'll go ahead and give you a little bonus recipe. I'm obsessed with this salad. I use a 50-50 mix of spring mix and baby spinach, and then I cut up a couple of cherry tomatoes in there, add some mozzarella pearls, some pumpkin seeds, a slice of watermelon, and then that Fuji apple dressing, and it's amazing. Now I'm trying to take everything on the counter and put them into categories that make at least a little bit of sense. My thought process is tall things need to go up top, and then I want to put the things that my dad uses often, and then we'll have a pickle section and a jelly and jam section. Where I started with the tall whipped cream, I ended up putting all of the Jell-O and pudding that my dad eats over there because that's what we use whipped cream for. So it just made sense. The next shelf I wanted to use for ready meals or things that are packaged in Tupperware and leftovers. The next shelf we put our eggs, and then I made a little dairy section, and then kind of just odd and ends that don't really have a home. And then the next shelf we use is our beverage station. We put a whole thing of water there and we go through it like crazy because our water is disgusting here. Next we have the vegetable drawer. There's a couple of things that need to be thrown out here. This is really all I threw away in the whole refrigerator. We're pretty good about using things up and not have a lot of food waste.
Let me fly like damn, I'll shine again. I'll be free, all I can be.
And then I'm going to wipe that out with the all-purpose cleaner like I did the other shelves, and then put things back in there. That's the 50-50 spring mix and baby spinach that I use for my salads. The bottom drawer I took out because I was going to wipe in there, but it's really difficult, so I'm just going to do that another day. This is where we keep our meats. Nothing in there needed to be changed. Now on to the freezer. I'm going to take everything out again, reorganize it into categories, and then create zones on the shelves.
I'm indecisive, I'm hard to read. I'm like a fake, it's so hard to lead. Got a few tricks up my sleeve, oh I. You're decisive, know what you want. We both know my heart can't be bought. Maybe we're in it for the hunt, oh I.
Okay, now everything's out but the ice. I'm gonna go to the freezer in the garage and get a thing or two that also needs to go in here. And now to organize everything into categories.
I don't wanna cut you off.
Alright, so this second shelf here I'm gonna make into our popsicles and ice cream, and then this more popsicles. And then this container that I'm about to put in here actually has different kinds of potatoes. We got hash browns and french fries, stuff like that. Then that next shelf, I'm going to put things that are all in boxes. That way they can stand up and you can easily see them and access what's inside of them. And then I have two more of those containers. I organized one that has things like leftover spaghetti sauce or meat that we didn't get to use in time, so we've put them in freezer baggies and then stuck them here in the fridge. And then the other one has what I've made into barbecue chicken packs, but I didn't really like that. So instead I made this into the like pre-packaged chicken nugget drawer for the toddler because that's his favorite food. But you know, who doesn't like nugs? And then the door, I'm going to just put little odds and ends bags that are smaller. And at the bottom, we have our little breakfast section and where we put our bag of ice. If you look on the left, there's a tiny little mason jar. What I do is I filled that halfway with water and froze it on its side. That way the water is up and down. And then I put it in the freezer correct side up. That way if the power goes out, then if the water is all at the bottom, I know everything thawed out and it's not safe to eat anymore. If it's still up and down, then I know that the food stayed cold and is still safe. Now to move on to the outside freezer. There's the before, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put things into zones. On the door, the top shelf, I put the bagged steamable vegetables. At the top, the idea is to put our grab-and-go lunches up there. at least for the most part. And then I also have a little breakfast section over there on the right. The second shelf has all of our extra meats, and then the next shelf has popsicles and there's a little diced chicken and a couple more lunches, and then pizza and my ice pack underneath that. And then everything else just kind of went into spaces on the door.
I'm tired of your voice. I'm getting tired of the way you leave me hanging with no choice. If you would ask me long ago, back when you seduced me, yeah, I felt like a domino, but I knew your reliability. He said, baby, I've been dying to see you. Almost thought we were through.
And so now here's the finish after 1 week of using our fridge and using some things up. This is what it looks like. It stayed pretty much the way that I had it. Not exactly, a couple of things moved around, but it is working pretty well for us. In the freezer, there's only one thing out of place, and it's because when I organize this, it's kind of in its own category, so it doesn't have a home. I'm just going to stick it down at the bottom with the breakfast stuff. And there you go. Clean fridge, clean freezers. It feels really nice. If you need more cleaning motivation, click the video on the left, and for a lot more cleaning motivation, click the playlist on the right. Bye!